今天我们会先画个画，然后呢，我再先给你一个然后我再给你看出一个 fun little playing with the drawing. 当然，第一 some simple things. When you're looking at something, 像说 如果你在外面，然后你在看and 如果咱们就先 go easy 吧。如果you're in a desert, there's nothing in it. There's no houses, there's no roads, there's no cars, there's no people. You're all alone in a desert. Well, the desert it's pretty flat, right? 所以呢，咱们如果弄一个 desert 之后，外面你就一直看，but you can't see forever, right? 对吗？ Or else you can't see forever. So at some point, it's gonna end, and we'll call the ending place right here. 然后这个 ending place, it's called the horizon line. It's where everything ends, sort of. You can't see any farther, you're done. And let's say we're trying to draw a railroad tracks. Then again, you can't see the railroad tracks forever, right? So again, we need a place for the railroad tracks to vanish. We can call that a vanishing point. And then to draw out here in the center like a dot. Now, there's tons of different ways to draw it, but here, the railroads turn out to be something like this. Now, this isn't the only way you can draw railroad tracks, because if you look forward, you can see that there's your hand. If you put your hand right here, you can just see it in the middle of the screen, right? You can just see it right in the middle. But what if I put my hand all the way up here? Well, now, if you see directly, you can barely see my hand, right? So we call that eye level. The level where you can just see the whole thing very, very precisely, we call that eye level. And this is above eye level. This is below eye level, where you have to look down or look up to see it. So if you're just crouching down or sitting down, it'll look something like this if I flip. When you're crouching down, you can't see as far. If you're not as high, you can't see as far. You even have to change the level of the horizon line to match our movement. So the horizon line is going to be I don't know, almost just a little over halfway. Something like that. Well, now we can also sort of see it a little wider, because you're down here, you're saying the same thing, but you're down a little lower. So you're going to start, the vanishing point, you're going to start somewhere, something more like this, right? Because now you're closer to the ground, meaning you can see it a lot bigger, right? It's sort of if you hold your finger here, and my finger looks gigantic, but your finger is all the way back here, it looks a lot smaller. So if you're at eye level, it'll look something like this, and you can draw in railroad tracks. And notice that what I'm doing here is also sort of interesting, because you can see as I'm going down, the railroad tracks are starting to be placed farther and farther and farther apart, right? Isn't the best? I don't have a lot of time to correct everything. 就是像说这样子，那为什么呢？因为你在这看很大嘛因为像说这样子，对吗？这样子感觉distance很大，对吗？但是呢，我在 move all the way back here，感觉 a lot smaller，对吗？但是 really I didn't move my hands anywhere. It's just the same position. It just looks a lot smaller. I can't really explain why. Your eyes are just shaped like that. 所以呢，这样子，咱们现在知道了，如果咱们在 down， 你咋 draw? But what if we're up? What if we're somewhere high up, in a plane or something, or in a helicopter? Sorry about that. And so, well, we still need the horizon line, but now, when we're all the way high up, we can see a lot farther, right? We can see mountains, we can see cities, or in a desert, you probably don't see cities, but so then we have to move our horizon line to match our movement of altitude. That horizon line is going to be somewhere up here because you're a lot higher. You can see more distant, but because you can see more distant, like it's sort of like in a real plane, right? Because if I look at you right now, you're just like a normal person, but if I'm all the way up in a helicopter, people down on the street look like ants, right? So we need to use the same thing. We need to make the railroad tracks really narrow to match our movement. So again, we have our vanishing point. We need to go really narrow. Really narrow. Something like this. And you can sort of see it, right? You can sort of like see that it's sort of like up somewhere and you're looking down at it. And you can like also draw some things. You can draw like a house maybe. Well, there probably won't be a house in the middle of a desert, but let's say there is. Well, you can't draw the house like this big, right? Like, or else the house would have to be extremely gigantic so that when you're all the way high in a helicopter, the house is like that big. So we're gonna have to draw a small house too to match our altitude from the house. Meaning like this is way too big, right? You're not gonna see a house that big. And so the house is gonna be something about this big. And I'm not gonna finish the house because you know I'm gonna be drawing houses all day. So this is the main idea of eye level and all that kind of stuff. But now, use a little area here. No, let's not waste more paper. Use a little area here. What if, like, I want to draw something that's other than a desert, like a chessboard, maybe? Well, then there won't be a horizon line, right? You're not like outside and they're seeing for a long distance, right? There won't be a horizon line, and there won't be a vanishing point because you're not gonna play chess when the chessboard is millions of miles away, right? So there's no vanishing point, there's no horizon line, so you don't have to worry about those. But we still need to imagine that vanishing point, right? Because like with the railroad tracks, they're gonna get narrower and narrower, same with the chessboard. So you're gonna have to draw some sort of like trapezoid shape. Although you can't go like in too far, right? Or else that'd be a weird chessboard. So there's like a little slant. You can sort of imagine your vanishing point up here, and you can even do this if you want. Drawing with guidelines, and well, it's too thin of a chessboard. You can draw something like this, a trapezoid. Now, of course, we need like the little squares on our chessboard, right? And how do we do that? Well, we can divide up this board like this into two triangle shapes. Well, no, not triangle shapes, two triangles. Well, now, I don't know what's helpful with these triangles. Well, now we can like see how many layers do we want. Let's say I want 4 layers. And we can cut this up into 4 layers like this. We can like put guide points here. Let's say these are 4 layers. And then draw in the layers according to these points. Now, I don't like this way. I method, this method of drawing where you just like draw straight through. I like to use something more, a little more precise. You just draw a little line through the dot, and then you just keep continuing, and continuing all the way out. So now our chessboard looks something like this, and you can basically do the same thing, right? You can use these guide points that we drew, and do this. And note that I'm using a little bit of slant. A little bit of slant here. And what's that for? Well, it's because when we're seeing the chessboard, this line is going to be right in the center. It's going to be like in the center, sort of. It's sort of like eye level, right? It's sort of like eye level, right in the center, where you can see it, right? It's like if this, it's like you're tilted. Your eye level just tilted like that. So if you think about it that way, it's right in the center. There's nothing special about it, right? So you just draw a straight line. But on the other side, again, you can still remember a little vanishing point here. Everything is just trying to like curve towards the vanishing point, and you can draw lines down to the point where you want to extend it to, and then you shape out the lines. The lines like that. And another reason that this is in the center, it's just gonna go straight up onto the vanishing point, right? Like that. Not a very good chessboard, but it'll do. So now that we know the basics, teach you how to do something a little more fun. Well, this time, instead of drawing a straight horizon, let's draw a curved horizon. Now it's sort of like something like space, right? So first, we're gonna make sure we draw this curved horizon well. Well, we already have sort of like a ball shape, so I'm gonna draw balls in this picture. And here, we'll also experience texture, because if this is our horizon line, a straight horizon line, I can have a ball here, and well, then the ball is going to be obstructing the horizon line, so it's going to end abruptly right there and keep on going. I can add sort of like a wood texture, like sort of like making something like these, like little like wriggles, like that, because then like the wood, right? It's like like carved up, like in the tree trunk. Those little circles you see that tell you how old the tree is, sort of like that. And we can also have a texture called fur. We can have another ball here, and because fur is not see-through, the horizon line will also end abruptly right there. Can't see through the ball. And again, we can just add sort of like fluffy little lines in there that also tell, oh, it's a fur. It's like a furry shape, right? There's like little like pieces of fur sticking out of it, and you're not hearing me say, okay, we can't see through. But what if we can see through the ball, like a bubble, for example? So we draw a bubble, but in a bubble you can't just see right through, right? It's the bubble, because the bubble, it's sort of like the light reflected from the like horizon line you're seeing into your eyes. Well, light moves through air at a certain speed, right? But when it goes into the bubble, it's gonna slow down a little bit. Because it's slowing down, it's gonna like sort of like move a little bit, reflect a little bit, and it's gonna like change a little bit, which also is the reason why if you stick a pencil into the water, it looks like it's broken. It looks like it sort of splits up. So we can use that sort of science here. I'm gonna draw a bigger ball. We can use that sort of science here by saying that we can see the horizon line, but we can't see it connected to the others. It's gonna be some sort of like something like that. You can just see the horizon line, but it's not yet connected. And then of course we need the bubble, and so like something like reflecting, like a little rectangle to show that there's light reflecting off of it. So for my first ball, I'm gonna draw a big giant ball, and I'm gonna say it's a bubble. So I'm gonna draw a big ball right here. Big ball. And because it's a bubble, we're going to have to erase this horizon line and replace it with something with another horizon line that sort of runs through the bubble. So like that. Now I'm going to draw a few regular balls, sort of huddling closer, like you can call it grandma. A little ball back here. another little ball. And to make it even more exciting, I can draw like something shooting out of the ball. Now how do I do that? Well, if this is our ball, well, if we're gonna shoot something out of it, we need a hole, like, or something for it to come out of it. It's like just, like, just flood out of nowhere because we are shooting it. So we're gonna need a hole. Let's just say it's sort of here-ish. Well, the hole, it's gonna have some sort of thickness, right? It's because it's just a circle on the ball, nothing special. So you need to make sure that it's a hole, an actual hole. So you need to add a thickness. Now, that thickness depends on how you're seeing it, because a rule here is if the thickness is on, if the circle is on the right, then you need to draw the thickness on the right, that way. Like you're sort of like seeing it, like sort of like this, that way you can sort of see, like, well, it's hard to explain, but like you can't draw the right, you can't draw it here, right? Because if you're seeing something here, how are you gonna see something that's all the way back there? So that won't make any sense. And I can do the same thing. If we have the hole on the left, we need the thickness on the left, and of course, if the hole is on the top, we'll need the thickness on the top. And I'm gonna say for the bubbles, you can't have a hole in the bubble, right? The bubble will burst. So the grandma ball, we can't have something shoot out of her, but we can have something come out of these little balls. So I'm going to draw the hole here, meaning because the hole is on the right, we need the thickness on the right. I'm going to have something shoot out of it, and of course we need sort of like these sort of like lines that show it's shooting out of this hole. I'm going to shoot a ball. To be even funnier, I can shoot a ball out of the ball that's shot. Like this, and I can shoot another ball out of it. This time, I can shoot it to the left, and I'll shoot a ball, just like that. Now, I'm not going to do any shading here, it'll take far too long, but if you want to do the shading, I can help you. You can, let's say, we have a light source, the light's not going to come from anywhere, so this is our light source. Our light source is right here, meaning it's sort of like sun, right? It's shining down, and the part that's lighted, you're not going to see any shadows, so you need to draw little shadows that are cast by the balls, and then the other side, you're going to have a little shady here. And I don't want to see that the shadow is drawn, so what we do here, because right now the shadow is pretty unnatural, so we can use our finger to rub, and then be like more of a shadow. Now it's still a pencil, so I might get on your finger. So just make sure to wash it off and don't like put anything in your. So don't like put your finger in your mouth or something. I'm gonna draw a little more shadow here, and we can just keep on doing this for the rest of the balls, except the bubble, of course. It's just weird for the bubble to have a shadow, right? Because it's a bubble, right? It's see-through, meaning that it'll just go through the bubble and go on the other side. So now, like, we can have more balls, of course. So we have a papa ball, big ball, and I have his wife, big ball, but a little. Wait, no, you can't draw the under a ball. We can say the mama ball is all the way over here, taking care of her little annoying kids that are shooting stuff out of nowhere. The mama ball is all the way over here. And to be honest, we can draw a hole, but nothing has to shoot out of the hole. You can have something sticking out of the hole. So if we get the pop ball over here, well, we still need a thickness, but now what I can draw is like a little stick figure or something, like a little pole or something sticking out of this hole. Now I still need a thickness, but if the pole is not see-through, which I'm not planning for it to be, this pole is going to obstruct the little thickness, meaning the thickness will end abruptly where the pole is, but then can continue on after the pole. So something like this, or something, well, how about a flag? I'm not going to teach you how to draw a flag, but a flag can look something like this. Just going to draw a quick little flag. Flaggy. Something. Flag like this. And let's say their country looks something like this. So it's gonna be their countryside, like waving, yeah! To be even funnier, I can take this mama ball over here. And let's say she has some holes in her. And then her annoying little kids decide to go inside her holes, but because they're so because they're holes, there's nothing inside them. They're uninterested, meaning in the end they'll be so bored, they'll start sleeping inside them. So you can sort of make a little and well, we can also sort of see these little children. You can draw like a little this as little ball, and we can draw keep on storing, and this is only just one way. You can do this another way. I'm going to show you this very quick. Is you can draw one big giant ball and have a whole bunch of little holes in here, and I have like tons of people like zizzing over here, and you can just think of your own ideas with something that looks like this.